Welcome to my YouTube page, and this is Apollo 25. Thank you for joining us. We're looking at developments in Europe. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has reiterated that he would not have any discussion or a roundtable discussion with Russia, especially when there's been a discussion that has gone on without its involvement or interference. And so they have been lashing out. And so we're going to look at some videos, then we'll come back and we'll look at what was said and let us analyze certain facts.
But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Russia talks, your impression of how they went today, and if you're perhaps more confident or less confident of a deal after what happened today?
Well, much more confident. They were very good. Russia wants to do something. They want to stop the savage barbarianism. I mean, what's going on over there? It's soldiers are being killed by the thousands on a weekly basis. It's ridiculous. It's a war that would have never happened if I was president. And I've been watching these people being killed at levels that you've rarely seen, not even close, since the Second World War. And I'm very disappointed. I hear that, they're upset about not having a seat. Well, they've had a seat for 3 years. And a long time before that. This could have been settled very easily. Just a half-baked negotiator could have settled this years ago without the loss of much land, very little land, without the loss of any lives.
I can't help but agree with the president, Donald Trump, over this matter because I felt that the war in Ukraine was overrated. I feel Zelensky was a pawn in the hands of the European Union, one who was used, to play chess game and was abandoned midway. Because at the end of the day, the desire, the fight to be included in NATO is not being granted. The access has been denied, and a lot of US taxpayers' money have gone into a meaningless war that has cost millions and millions of dollars, casualties on both ends, that this matter could have been solved without the level of escalation that we have seen this war go. And for me, if Zelensky is quite smart, he will understand that he has been played on. He has been playing, he's the pawn in the chess game. And technically, his people has lost. But Trump came out and began to talk about Zelensky's indifference and began to call him a modest comedian and a dictator, that he should have left power a long time ago. Now he's using the war, I'm paraphrasing now, as a yardstick to prolong his reign, as the president of Ukraine. And that he is not someone who is in a position right now to negotiate anything on the table. And I think the long and the short story here is not really about what Zelensky is out for. I think it's about the welfare of Ukrainians and how to bring an end to this meaningless war so that people could settle in and move on with their lives. But I want to know what your thoughts are, your opinion are in the comment section. So let's watch another clips of what many people tend to see Zelensky from the point of view that Donald Trump was emphasizing earlier in his speech, or an open letter he wrote to the president of Ukraine.
Donald Trump has launched an eviscerating attack on Volodymyr Zelensky, calling the Ukrainian leader a modestly successful comedian and a dictator without elections. The extraordinary outburst came after Zelensky accused the US president of falling for Russian fake news, with Trump suggesting yesterday that Ukraine was to blame for Moscow's illegal invasion of the country 3 years ago. Think of it. A modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the US and Trump, will never be able to settle. Trump wrote on his social media platform, Truth Social. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered, and millions have unnecessarily died. And so it continues, he posted. In what appeared to be a thinly veiled threat, Trump went on to say that Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left.